Hi there, my name is Janet Osborn. I'm the art therapist at the Light Clinic. Today I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about art therapy and how it might help you, and also demonstrate an art therapy experience that you can do along with me or try later at home. Put simply, art therapy is a process of exploring our inner world through creative expression. It provides us with a way of expressing our feelings, thoughts, conflicts, desires in a tangible form, so we can then look at it and explore it and to better understand ourselves. So it's taking what's inside of us and putting it out here in a nonverbal form. Art therapy is very different from art instruction. The goal is not to learn how to draw or paint or sculpt in order to create a specific outcome. Instead, the emphasis in art therapy is on the process and allowing that process to take us to whatever the outcome may bring. So no art experience is necessary. Anyone can access the creative side of themselves and benefit from art therapy. All you need is a willingness to use art materials and be open to the process. Okay, so now I'm going to guide you through an art therapy experience. And this is what we call a scribble drawing. And basically it starts with a scribble. It is a jumping off point for you to create an image. What you're going to need is a piece of paper. It can be any size really. I recommend something along the size of a 12 by 18. If what you have is more typical Xerox paper, 8 by 11, that's fine. It's a little easier if you use something a little bigger though. And also some drawing materials. Whatever you might have around, you can just use a plain pencil if that's all you've got, or a pen. If you've got crayons, colored pencils, oil pastels, markers, any of those kinds of drawing materials will work. And what you're going to do is choose one pencil or crayon to start with. I'm going to actually choose a marker, just so you'll be able to see my lines really well. And we're going to start with your non-dominant hand. So in other words, if you're right-handed, you're going to use your left hand. And the opposite is true. This is going to feel a little funny, but that's going to help you get into that sort of nonverbal creative space. All right? You're going to close your eyes, and you're going to allow your hand to just go wherever it wants to on the paper. All right, so you're going to close your eyes. You got your marker in your non-dominant hand or your pencil, whichever you're using. You're going to put it down on the paper wherever you want. And you're just going to let your arm go wherever it wants to go on the paper. And then you're going to stop. So just for a few seconds. And I might also just say that if you're working on a nice dining room table, you might put some newspaper down underneath because I typically go off the edges of the paper. So now you've got your scribble, and you're going to just spend a few minutes looking at it. And you're going to look at it from all directions. So this is what I've got, and I'm going to turn it all different directions and just see what unfolds for me. What you're looking at, just shapes, images that might come to you. It could be a face, it could be a figure, it could be a tree, a flower, it could be just some interesting shapes, some symbols that you see. And what you're going to do now is just use this as a jumping off point to then create a finished image. And now you can use any material that you'd like. I am going to use crayons and maybe some markers. And at this point, you can cover up lines, or you can add lines. You know, this is just really a start to a drawing that you're going to finish. So you don't have to stay with exactly what you've got on this page. It's really whatever comes to you, whatever unfolds. And don't forget that you can overlap colors, even with crayons. You know, coloring two colors on top of each other You can overlap pencil with crayon. It's kind of gives it a kind of a nice texture as well. You can combine all kinds of materials together. I like to use markers and oil pastels. You can spend as little or as much time as you'd like to on this. It's really up to you. And while you're drawing, just try to stay as present as possible. This is similar to those of you who have done a meditation practice. Typically we'll say when your mind starts to wander or go to other thoughts, to just bring it back to your breath. And it's similar with this process. When you find yourself thinking, beyond your image, just nudge yourself back to the image. So you're always trying to come back to the image. The goal here is to stay present in your creative process. And a lot of us have a real critical voice when it comes to art, especially if you haven't done art for a while or it's not something that you do very often. And while you're drawing, you may find yourself saying, "Oh, this looks really stupid," or "I don't know why I'm doing this," or "I can't draw." So just try to remind yourself that that's okay. There's that critic, and go back to drawing, because really, as I said before, we're not trying to create a masterpiece. The outcome is not. We don't know what the outcome's going to be. So we're just trying to stay in the process and see what that process brings us. Okay, so I feel like I'm finished. And this is what I've come up with. So I'm going to encourage you just at this point to just spend a minute or two just kind of really looking. Seeing if there's anything else you might want to add or tweak. Just taking a few minutes to do that. And I'm just going to add a little bit more blue in here. Okay. I feel like I'm really finished. So the next thing I'm going to suggest is that you actually hang your artwork on the wall. And this can be done with painter's tape, which won't take the paint off if you're concerned about that, or if you've got a bulletin board or something you can tack it to, that would be great. So I'm going to hang this up on our wall here. So now you have your artwork on the wall, and the reason we do this is to give yourself a little bit of space from it. It's a lot different to put your artwork on the wall and sit back and look at it versus having it sitting on the table right in front of you. And just spend a few minutes looking at it. Strive to be non-judgmental, okay? So you're just looking at it just to see what you notice. What feelings might come up around your drawing? What areas of the drawing does your eye want to keep going to? When you look away and then you look at the drawing again, where does it keep wanting to go? What areas fascinate you? Are you curious about? What are the areas that maybe look unfinished or unclear to you? And are there areas that you really don't like, that you feel like don't really go with the rest of the image, or that you didn't do very well? These kinds of things. And while you're looking at it and thinking about it, you might write some of this down just so you can remember. And when you're finished sort of looking and thinking and getting some thoughts about it, give your drawing a title. It's always nice to title your artwork. And maybe put the date on it as well. And you can put these things on the back of it if you don't want to put it on the front. And that way you can just have a record of when you did it and what might be associated with it through the title. So these are just some of the things that I've done in recent time. This one was today, and these drawings are done from the same scribble. So I actually traced the scribble so I could do two. And that's something you can do as well. If you particularly like a scribble that you've done and you think you want to play around with it a few times, you can put a piece of paper over it and trace it and do another image. And you can see how different they can come out, different feeling. You can also obviously do things that are abstract and just look at the shapes and the colors and the movement and what feels like is happening there. You know, you can also have a sense of humor, which was sort of the thought with this one. I love sea turtles, and that's just what I saw. And one of my thoughts is, well, where is that turtle going? What does that turtle see? And so that might be my next drawing. This is something that you can use as a stepping off point. So again, you know, you can take this drawing and you could pick an area that you want to explore further. So maybe I want to look at what's in here closer. So I might zoom in, and my next drawing might be more of just this area. Or I might do a drawing of what's beyond the turtle. What does the turtle see? Maybe I do another drawing of once all the red has come out, what does that create? So there's lots of things that can happen beyond this one drawing. The other thing about scribble drawings is they can be really fun to do with other people. So if you have another person, you want to each do a scribble with your eyes closed, and then you can give each other your scribbles. Kids really love scribble drawings, so it's fun to do, and you're looking for things to do with them. Really, the bottom line is it's fun. It's a wonderful experience to get in touch with your creative self, and I encourage everyone to do it. And hopefully, we'll have more next time. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you had some fun. And if you'd like more information, go to our website at www.thelightclinic.org. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And let's keep working together.